I've been getting a lot of questions recently from moms that are feeling really nervous to leave the house with their new baby, but yet are also feeling like, well, I should be getting out. And so they have this like internal conflict of wanting to keep their baby safe, but also needing to get outside, maybe see some other adults, and they're wondering what to do. So obviously with COVID, the best bet is to steer clear of having baby in any public space, really, and just stick with like your pod, the people in your household, and really try to limit baby's exposure. So for COVID, that's really my best advice. And of course, when you feel like baby's okay to stay with your partner or your mother, whomever, for like an hour or so, then you should take that opportunity to go out, meet your friend at a park, go sit on the outside balcony or outside patio at a restaurant and have a cup of tea by yourself. Make sure that you're allowing yourself to nurture your need to get outside of the house, even if you don't necessarily feel comfortable at this point bringing baby out as well. With that said, I'm going to give another answer, the answer that I would give pre-COVID, in the hopes that someday COVID won't be as big of a thing. So everything that I say from this point forward, this is with the assumption that COVID is no longer a massive threat. Okay, so first things first, regardless of COVID or not, if your baby has a compromised immune system, it is best to completely keep them away from public spaces until the pediatrician gives the go-ahead. And the pediatrician is a really good place to start in regards to knowing if your baby's health is tenuous, how tenuous it is, what their recommendations are. They can really be a great first line of defense in figuring out how to proceed with keeping your baby sick. If you have a newborn in the thick of flu season, a family member has a bug or something like that, it's definitely best to avoid exposure as much as possible, obviously. If you have a healthy baby, you're probably fine to go out, especially if you're breastfeeding, as breastfeeding fills them with tons of antibodies and other goodies that do wonders at protecting them, at least for the first few months of their life. The one going out caveat is that it's best to avoid really crowded spaces like theme parks, airports, cruise ships. Going into the grocery store is probably fine. Going to a park, outdoor areas are so great because there is such a lower risk for this spread of infection, typically in outdoor areas. With all that said, I also like to encourage women to consider if their hesitancy to leave the house is fully because of a fear of baby getting sick, or if it also has to do with their need to integrate with all of the changes that are happening in their life. Some women really do need to just stay inside for the first month or two. In a lot of cultures, the mother intentionally stays in or around the household for the 40 days following the baby's birth. And that, for a lot of women, is needed to, again, integrate with the changes, to settle into it. So if you feel like, I feel like I need to go out because I need to get back out there. Like, people are telling me I need to get social and blah, blah, blah. And your urge to leave the house is pretty much based on other people's opinions, but really your intuition is telling you, I just need to stay home. I feel safer at home. I want to stay home. Trust that instinct, again, at least for the first month or two of baby's life. Don't force yourself to go out if you really don't feel a need to. That is absolutely okay to be a homebody for a while. Okay. So if you're not in that camp and you're like, no, I really have to get out or else I'm going to go crazy, you can get creative about how you get out. So if you want to meet up with a friend, go and have a picnic at the park. If you're on a walk outside, just make sure you don't let anybody touch the baby. Shockingly, lots of people, even strangers, they see a cute baby and they just want to touch them. So you have every right to tell people, please don't touch my baby. Look what don't touch. As I mentioned earlier, going to an uncrowded restaurant, sitting out on the patio. There's a lot of great ways to go out and about with baby without exposing them or yourself to too many germs. If you're wanting people to come over, which is completely understandable, it's really important to make sure that they wash their hands as soon as they get to the house. And if they're there for a while and then they want to touch the baby, it's also wise to have them wash their hands before they touch the baby. You can also let people know if you feel sick at all, please do not come over. Come over when you're feeling healthy. And if you feel like all of these people that you don't really want to see want to come over and see the baby, you can use the, we're trying to limit baby's exposure excuse to get those people to not come over. You can just say, we're waiting 2 months or whatever before we have guests come over, just so baby's not exposed to any germs. That can, again, be a good excuse. Okay, I think that's about it. First and foremost, just really trusting your instincts, because ultimately you know what is best for you and your baby. Again, checking in with a pediatrician can be great. They can give some good recommendations, being vigilant with hand washing, just being thoughtful about, where you take the baby and if it feels safe to you. All right, if you have any suggestions that I did not mention in this, please let me know in the comments below. Or if you have questions about anything else related to pregnancy, childbirth, early motherhood.